Hello everyone. I have barely finished my last Amiga project, which was the restoration of an old A2000 infested with spiders, if you remember. And now I'm faced with a new project, which is this A1200, because this package has just arrived and I'm super happy. I opened it. It seems like this Amiga hasn't been expanded or actually even used since late 90s. The serial number here matches the one on the box. I'm very happy because it's a rare find these days. But that's not why I'm recording this video. I'm recording this video because there's another package that arrived almost at the same time. What a coincidence! Something that I've been expecting for months and months. It's the Warp1260 accelerator board specifically for A1200. So nice coincidence. But at the same time, a very, very exciting time for me because I've heard so much about this card, plus the accompanying WarpedVision flicker fixer or scan doubler. So what I'm gonna do is I want to install these in this Amiga. I'm not gonna do any comparison testing. People compare it to a Terrible Fire accelerator board, compare it to Vampire, doesn't matter for me. I've heard so much good about this card. It's deemed to be the best currently available accelerator board for A1200. So I want to try it out. And I want to share that with you. I know there have been many YouTube videos about this particular card with tests, comparisons, as I mentioned, whatnot. It doesn't matter. I want to share my joy with you because I'm so happy, and I want to basically follow the instructions on how to install the card, hardware and software. I'll follow them step by step, and I'm gonna record it. Maybe someone will find it useful, but maybe someone will just find it inspirational. We love our Amigas and we love to share any new development that happens. We love to share our stories of expanding, of building. There's always some problem or obstacle that needs to be overcome. So let's embark on this adventure. I'm first gonna recap this A1200. I'm not gonna start any modifications before it's recapped. Again, it hasn't been used for years. I actually hope it's working, I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe some small fixes need to be done. We'll do that. So that's the first step. The next step will be install these hardware wise, and the last step to install software, and let's see how that goes. The moment I opened the case, I knew it hadn't been touched in decades. Dust and lint covered everything, and the shielding was heavily oxidized. This Amiga was still in its original state. Removing the shielding was essential for installing Warp1260, as the metal sheets would interfere. Recapping was uneventful and timely. 2 capacitors had already started leaking. Fun fact, being a little myopic can be an advantage here. I often prefer my bare eyes over a microscope. Next, I swapped in the 3.2 ROMs cleaned the floppy drive, and refreshed the case. Now on to the star of the show, Warp1260. It's not only powerful, it's beautifully designed. Available in black and green, it features a custom-built heatsink that fits snugly under the A12 keyboard. Ordering is a unique process. You send an 060 or 040 CPU to CS Lab, pay, and receive this powerhouse, packed with Wi-Fi, CF and CD storage, USB, a sound processor, and more. The WarpedVision, which can be purchased either as an add-on to the Warp card or fully independent scan doubler, is a similarly perfected design, packed with features. It takes Amiga's native 15 kHz signal and creates an upscaled representation for modern monitors. In its light version, it needs a Warp card to work, but in the full version, it can be used on its own. Despite its size, the Warp1260 fits perfectly inside the A1200, requiring no case modifications. You can even reattach the trapdoor, unlike the old Blizzard cards, which sometimes needed holes cut in desks for airflow. Cooling is handled by a flat fan on a slated PCB, plugged into the floppy power and LED connectors. It is well designed but tricky to install. If done after the warp, alignment is tough. If before, the fan may pop out while installing the rest. But once in place, it stays put and does its job. Installing WarpedVision was smooth. Just clean the Alice chip contacts with isopropyl alcohol and carefully align the pogo pin with the 6th pin of the U32 chip. I missed a small but crucial step, opening jumper 1 for video output through Warp1260. But thanks to the helpful support from Shimon of CS Labs, I was able to sort it. It would have been totally justified for Shimon to use the RTFM phrase in his response, but he didn't. With everything set up, the Warp1260 seamlessly switches between native Amiga and RTG modes and reduces cable clutter. The scan doubler even includes an infrared sensor, allowing you to fine-tune display settings with a remote. You need to tape the Wi-Fi antenna and the battery somewhere. I chose the empty plastic areas in the far right part of the case. Even though the Warp1260 has a built-in CF reader, it is a good idea to connect another one to the Amiga's native IDE interface. If the native interface is not occupied, the booting of the machine will take longer. Now, on to software. I'm using a fresh Amiga OS install on a CF card. You can prepare one yourself or purchase a ready-made one.
Warp-specific files from CSLab must be placed in the right directories. CS Warp library to libs. Warp ST device, Warp USB disk device and Warp ATA device to devs. Warp net device to devs networks. Warp net network interface script to devs net interfaces. You'll also need 68060 library in libs and the MUI package installed. To unlock the Warp's graphics power, you need to install Picasso 96 package, P96, either the free Aminet version or the continuously maintained version from iComp. After setting it up, copy the csgfx.card file to libs Picasso 96. Move Picasso 96 settings to devs and place the csgfx and csgfx.info files in devs monitors. Restart, select the display mode and before saving, test to see if your monitor supports it.
The Warp diagnostic tool provides keycard information at a glance. While you can get the same details using Warp tool run in the shell, this tool presents them more clearly and updates continuously. From here, you can also adjust CPU and fan speeds and manage RAM slots. The card allows setting the 060 CPU speed up to 105 MHz. Warp1260 includes built-in Wi-Fi, but you'll need a TCP/IP stack to use it. I went with Roadshow, a simple, reliable commercial package. With Roadshow installed, you need to connect to Wi-Fi from within the Warp diagnostic tool using Device Wi-Fi Menu item. And then enable the networking interface using the Add Interface WarpNet command. Roadshow creates a network startup script in the S drawer, which loads all available network interfaces, in this case the WarpNet interface, and which can also execute any commands you want at network startup time. CSLab recommends adding a command to increase the data receiving buffer. From my side, I always add the NTP sync command, which syncs the RTC clock with a network time protocol server. Another practical use of it would be connecting to a Samba share. Once online, I fired up IMP3 to enjoy mods and chat with fellow Amiga fans. The moment I joined, Wozik invited me to a game of checkers, one of IMP3's many cool features. Check out my other video for more on this must-have Amiga app. To enable FAT-formatted USB drives, install FAT95 from Aminet and copy WUSB and WUSB.info to devs DOS drivers. From now on, a pen drive plugged into one of the USB ports is automatically mounted, with no need to install a USB stack like Poseidon. Warp Diagnostic also shows the USB mass storage connected to the Amiga. To use SD cards, you need to copy WSD and WSD.info files to devs DOS drivers. In order to format and partition the drive for Amiga OS using HD Toolbox, first in the icon tooltip of the tool, change the SCSI device name parameter to warpsd.device and SCSI MAC address to 0.
Then proceed with drive setup as you normally would with a native Amiga hard disk. With these options, you can access Warp's CF card, Warp's SD card, an additional CF card via Amiga's IDE, USB drives, and even the classic floppy. Accessing multiple storage devices on Amiga has never been this easy. Another great feature is loading Kickstart ROMs directly from Warp's memory instead of a physical chip. The card has 4 ROM slots, and uploading your own is simple. Just use a FAT formatted USB drive, create an __ CSWarp folder, and add a config.txt file with force-prog as its content. Then copy warp1260.pk from Warp's software package along with your ROM's file. Name your ROM file kick0.bin for slot 1, kick1.bin for slot 2, and so on. Once ready, run kickcell0 to load to the first ROM slot and reboot. If anything goes wrong, you can always revert to a physical ROM by adjusting a jumper on the card.
Wow, that was a long day. Together we installed and configured a Warp1260 and the ScanDoubler WarpedVision. And I can't express how impressed I am with the speed, the completeness and the quality of these products. It really feels like Christmas. You remember I've taken out this A1200 out of its box after probably decades of being unused, installed this new Warp1260 turbo card in it, and it's like a new computer that I'm looking forward to just enjoying. It's fast, the screen resolution is very high, it's amazing. And there are so many things that I want to do with it. One of the things that is not yet complete is the ACHI driver, which I'm also planning to play with, but that can wait, For now, I'm just amazed and I'm grateful to CS Labs for this product. I'm not associated with them in any way, by the way. I'm just utterly impressed. Of course, there are competitors to this product. There's the Vampire, there's PyStorm. That's okay. Both of them are amazing as well, and I played with them. They are fast, etc., etc. But this one is based on a bit different premise. It's actually using the original Motorola 060 processor, which you had to supply to CS Lab to get your card built. The card is also not cheap. It's actually very expensive. But again, there's a reward at the end. The reward is a beautiful, complete A1200, which you can use with a modern monitor and which you can just purely enjoy without struggling to get the storage working, to get the Wi-Fi working, to get the USB working. It's all there, it's all in the package. Anyway, thank you CS Lab again. I'm now just planning to enjoy it for a bit. I'm gonna configure my system even more, make it even more complete. And then for the rest of the evening, maybe I'm just gonna play a game, because this also switches between the native Amiga display mode and the RTG. So yeah, let me do that.